It's been 10 years since the inaugural Kulwicki Driver Development Program began. 2015 champion Ty Majesty's going on to race in NASCAR. We've been catching up with all sorts of drivers that have gone on to win the Kulwicki Cup, and let's welcome in our 2018 Kulwicki Cup champion, Brett Yackey. Brett, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. And yourself?
Catching up with you has been fun because you've been too busy racing and working in the business. I mean, you got a lot going on. Take us through a snapshot of this year, 2025.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been very busy. We didn't really start our season until I think it was the first week of May out here, just running local stuff. We never got a chance to make it out of Colorado this year. However, we did get to run the Cars Tour race here with both the Super and the Pro. We built a Pro car, so we're kind of doing a little bit more dabbling in that as well and just doing our thing. We build our own chassis nowadays, build all our own engines. So we stay busy just trying to maintain our own fleet and racing here locally and, tagging some out of town races when we can.
Where do we find you today?
I'm at work at the engine shop. So yeah, we have family owned business, GAM Racing Engines. We do anything from street rods to race cars. And that's how we're able to do what we do, building our own motors.
We know your dad has a lot of championships, a full room of trophies that you probably had to grow up and dust it on occasion. You got yourself quite a set as well, including this year. Congrats on the Colorado National Speedway Track Championship by 2 points this year. How'd you get that done?
It wasn't looking good. We honestly had somewhat of a rough season a couple nights and didn't think there was a chance going into the last night. And with 4 to go, we passed Michael Scott to win the championship. So it was, that much more exciting to have done it in that fashion.
Your older brother Brian is also racing in a pro truck. He finished second in points as well. Is that all one big happy family shop working on everything, or does he have his own thing going?
So my brother and my dad kind of work out of the same shop, and then he has his own house that he'll do some of his maintenance and stuff at. However, I'm in my own shop doing my own thing. Obviously, we collaborate, but yeah, none of my stuff's with their stuff.
Doing your own thing. Let's get to that. 2018, you ran for the Kulwicki Driver Development Program Championship. You won the Kulwicki Cup against some really good racers. What drew you to the program, speaking of drivers that did a lot on their own to earn success at a NASCAR championship in Allen Kulwicki?
Sorry, repeat the question.
What did you do in earning the 2018 to get to that point when you went into the idea of applying for this Kulwicki Driver Development Program? What all went into that, knowing that you might be the only kid selected out of Colorado?
Yeah, when it first started, I didn't know a whole lot about it, and my aunt kind of brought it up to me and helped me apply the very first time. And then we went through it the first year and did well, but didn't do quite well enough. So we were lucky enough to get in it again. And then that's really when my career broke out. At the end of 2018, we won like 3 or 4 races, big races in a row. And that really kicked off the ability to win it, plus my future at that point. And my aunt actually passed away before we were able to win it. So it was kind of cool to be able to honor her and do all that when she was the one that helped me get into it. But my grandma also helped me a bunch, and we had a lot of people really involved because we did so much racing, so much community service, so much social media, all of the above that it really helped kickstart my future.
Yeah, I'm learning that your aunt passed away from leukemia, and I know that was a major cause and a major push for you when it comes to off-track ability to raise awareness for the program. How does that still carry on today? And do people still pop up to you and say, hey, thanks a lot for doing that, or hey, thanks for stopping by this fun drive back in 2018. Now we've got this many people doing it. I mean, what kind of residuals are there with the program effect now, this many years later?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of residual effects. Just the amount of involvement we had within the community helped get our name out there, the team, mine, and people will still be like, hey, I saw you doing this. Hey, I saw you doing that. So we still try to stay involved in the community. We kind of focus a lot on like childhood education stuff. So we go to a lot of schools. We'll do some search and rescue. We do a little bit of stuff through our main sponsor, Barista Car Wash. So we're definitely not as active as we were back then when we were in the program, just because as you get older, you have family and work and all that. But yeah, we try to do as much as we still can and stay busy for sure.
And I think I saw something in your socials where you dressed up as the mascot for the car wash. What was that all about?
I did. So we were out at one of their events and they had the mascot there and nobody was in it. And they asked me and I was like, sure, I suppose. And it was interesting. It was a little hot and hard to see out of that thing, but it was cool. Those
Looked like you're wearing baseball pants, right? Baseball pants and then this big old bubble around you, right?
Right. Yeah. It's like some leggings and a big old bubble outfit. And that's what builds racing in the community is all the, those affiliations that we have. It's Breeze Through Car Wash has I can't remember if it's 15 or 16 locations now here in Colorado. So they're a pretty big involvement in the community, and it helps build the brand of both of us.
Right. When you talk about racing, people may or may not realize how far you have to go to race. Colorado National Speedway is your home track, being Greeley, Colorado. But we're talking about racing at Kern County Raceway. We're talking chasing down to Tucson like you have so often, 9 times in the turkey shoot, 7 times in the Chili Willy, which kind of bookends the season. So there's really never an off time. The turkey shootout goes on in November, and then right back in January, a lot of guys pilgrimage to Tucson, Arizona to go racing there that you've had some success at. So take us through how that all plans out, where you might have to leave 2 or 3 days prior to maybe some others to get to racetracks you race at.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely a hard part about racing in Colorado is that we just have one racetrack. It's an awesome racetrack, lots of fans, lots of cars. But the next closest track, I think, is Meridian or Magic Valley in Idaho, which is about 12 hours. And then Meridian's actually next closest, and then Tucson. But nowadays, they only do like one race at Magic Valley and none at Meridian. So we have to go to Tucson to race. I was lucky enough in 2021 to run the entire season in Tucson because I have a good buddy down there. I left my car at his house and we flew in every week. But yeah, you have to fly out on a Thursday night, work on it all day Friday, race Saturday, fly back Sunday. So financially and work wise, it's not extremely achievable to do that sometimes. So that's why we don't do a ton of traveling. Also, through my career, I haven't been fortunate enough to have all the funding to move up to the next level. So we just kind of love doing our thing, building chassis with my dad and our crew guy, Steve, and building engines, rear ends, doing basically everything in-house that not many people can do. So that's pretty cool for us as well.
And when you do punch out of the real job, you were looking at other places to race, not just the West Coast. I know you travel to 4 now Midwest Tour races. Your dad used to race the old Arco series, and I think I saw you racing here in Wisconsin, trying to race at some of the tracks that Kulwicki conquered before he moved down south to NASCAR. What's that been like, trying to go to different places and learn new things and race against different people across the country?
You know, it's been a huge struggle actually because we learned Colorado so well, and then we try to go somewhere and we're trying to do the things that we're doing in Colorado and they haven't applied very well. So we've struggled and not doing it enough and only having, 1 or 2 day shows. We don't have enough time to totally swing for the fences and change stuff. So we've struggled at some of those places where like Tucson, we've been there enough that we've tried enough things and been able to get good enough. But yeah, if you don't hit all these other tracks very consistently, it's hard to learn how or what to be changing quick enough.
I believe that entirely. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that can associate right now with you saying, if I go to that track, what's it going to be like? Who do I need to call? How do I find things out? But I think that search is also probably about you maybe a little bit further depth on your own ability to get better at Colorado, to race at Tucson, to be more accessible to folks because you have such a great personality and dialing in your race car. It's kind of like what you want to do and how you do it. How are you helping younger racers these days? How you kind of just being now one of the veterans like your dad was for so many years and saying, okay, you need to give me a second, but I'll tell you what I need to do with these shocks. Or let me see what your tire temps are when you're coming off the track, that kind of thing. What's that been like now being one of the veterans of tracks you know so well?
It actually becomes really nice because I am my crew chief for that matter. I get out of the car, I'm checking all the information. I have guys that get the information, but then I have to actually read it and know what to do. So it's being a crew chief while driving the car is fun and a challenge. But then it's also cool that we've been so successful here and people are finally realizing that I'm the one that's kind of doing everything for myself, that they wanted me to hire me to set up their car or have me drive their car. And it makes it kind of cool for sure. I have to be very picky on what I choose to do because just not having enough time to do everything. But I was lucky enough to hop in somebody else's late model at the end of the year and do some fine tunes and went out and dominated in that. So that was cool too. Just the opportunities that it brings.
And it really kind of justifies the fact that everything you're trying is working. And even if it's not your stuff, you can still apply it to others. And I'm trying to tie that back in, which is easy to do with the Kulwicki Driver Development Program. You handled your own fraternity in 2018. You've now gotten to see before and after your time there in 2 years in the program, some of these young racers. Are you keeping track of them at all? Is there a text thread with folks, or you just kind of keep an eye on who's all coming through because it's pretty cool to be part of the program in general?
Yeah, you definitely see everybody going through it, and some people you'll race against, some people you'll see, and then some people you don't know or never will see. And if they're not doing a lot of stuff in the community or doing really well racing, it's kind of hard to keep up with them or see them because I'm not huge on the social media that much to really see. I see what Fredrickson's doing a lot. I can see what Zampa's doing because he races against us out here. Bondi, Majeski, obviously. Yeah, their Fenhouse. There's a lot of people that you still see doing stuff, especially the ones that are moving up in NASCAR. Butcher, that was in it with me. Yeah, there's a good variety of people that you do still see for sure.
And Brett, when it comes to this program, the door is open. The portal opens January 1st for those that want to apply for the 2026 Kulwicki Driver Development Program to become a finalist. What would you encourage them to do? What would you encourage them to kind of get ready for? And why would they want to do this? Why would they want to apply for the program?
Yeah, I definitely always recommend anybody to get in it that can, because it really does help shape who you are when you're a young man trying to figure out who you are, what the right things to do in just the community are, and it helps push you towards that. Because there's a lot of things that I would have never done. I mean, on my own, not being in the program, I wouldn't have probably raced quite as much because that was a push for the program. I wouldn't have done nearly as much, maybe none of the stuff that I did in the community without it. So it helped shape who I was at that time when I was 17 and 18 years old. So that part of it's really cool. And then just getting a kick of money back to start the season is always helpful. And then if you're fortunate to win it and you use the money accordingly, it can definitely change the entire future of your program. Where when we won it, we kind of applied some of the money towards getting a new truck to haul the race car and some towards building our new shop. And all that is still seen today because we have all that stuff. Some people just take it and can go run 3 or 4 big races and it's gone. So it definitely depends how you use it and what you use it for and how much it can change the future of your program.
Well, Brett, there's a lot that's going on. I'm glad you're still inspiring others by performance, by success, and no doubt by leading the way when it comes to a really good guy that knows a lot about race cars and takes time for others still. And it's great to know that you are always going to represent the Kulwicki Driver Development Program. The website to go to is kulwickiddp.com for more information. You can see Brett's smiling face there at the big Kulwicki Cup at the banquet, and that's coming up soon here in Charlotte. So it's good to see a smiling Brett Yackey taking a few minutes of his busy time and celebrating yet another championship and a marriage all to boot recently. So there's a lot going on in the positive. We can't thank you enough for your time here to spend with us.
Absolutely. Thank you.